Perfect Weapon. What can you say about this game? I've played a lot of bad games in my time, and a lot of bad PS1 games in my time. But this, I think, may be the absolute worst game I've ever played in my life. Or at least the very worst game I've ever played on the PS1. In 1996, Grey Matter, with the help of AFC Games, released Perfect Weapon, also known as Body Hazard in Japan. Thank you, Grey Matter, for the wonderful game you bestowed upon us all. So we see our hero, Captain Blake Hunter, fighting in what appears to be a boxing ring. What is this? Is this legal? Is this a kickboxing match? What kind of fight is this?
No way.
Hey, I recognize that sound effect. Immediately you'll notice the controls are absolutely abysmal. All of your control options are delayed. Every time you press a button, it takes like a full second for it to respond. I'm gonna have a little quiz here. We're gonna play guess which button jumps, okay? Now I'm gonna show you the controller here. Now out of all the buttons on this controller, which one do you think is the jump button? It's R1. Why R1? You have 4 buttons right on the front of the controller. 3 of them you don't even use while you're walking around. You don't jump while you're in combat. Why can't it be X or circle, triangle? Shadow of the Colossus had triangle. That was a weird button anyway, but still. I like that the first enemies they give you are ones that you can't hit with your high attacks. We're gonna go into a little game theory here, okay? When you go into a game, you want the first enemy to be something you can test all your abilities on. You want to be something that you can feel confident to take you down, even though you're a scared little baby who doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? And when I see these wolves, I go, oh, I can't punch these. Oh, I can't punch them at all. What am I doing? Oh, I'm getting killed. What happens is the player gets frustrated and confused, because why would you send this type of enemy the first thing you fight in the game? Why can't it be this guy, Mr. Ape Man? I think he's a good enemy you can hit with all your moves. When you walk into a game, you want the player to feel confident in themselves. You want to help the player along, not hold hands. You know, don't hold hands. That's not. I don't want to hold hands, but I do want to be able to feel like I have all the tools I need to beat an enemy. And when I don't even know the controls, how am I supposed to figure out which buttons are the low attacks and which buttons are the high attacks without getting my face chewed off? I'm not saying that the enemies have to be easy. I'm just saying that the enemies have to be something that you can take down with relative ease, with all the stuff you have, and you should be able to use anything on them, because you can't even get into the fighting stance without getting into a fight in the first place. So what's going to happen is you walk up to the wolf and you press the punch button, because you'd figure square is a punch, and then you get your face clawed off. I don't want my face clawed off. I like my face. I like the fact that the first level is one where your health constantly drains. Nothing makes me feel confident in trying to learn the controls like a death timer. None of the other levels have these type of gimmicks, so I don't understand why they felt the first one would be one where you can just die by standing there. With controls these bad, you want to have enough time to be able to press all the buttons, to be able to walk all around, to be able to figure out why the controls aren't working. And you can't do that very easily when you're hounded by a health bar that is constantly draining, constantly they didn't give me a coat? Eventually I go over here, I find some blue thing. What even is this? Why would I drink this? This doesn't look healthy. You go into the menu and you spend about 3 minutes trying to figure out how to select the damn thing. You press R2 and L2 to cycle through your items. Haven't these guys ever thought of a pause menu? The map is not that important that I need it out 24/7. I know the camera angles are changing every 3 seconds, but still, the fact that you have to jump over every damn crack in the ground is annoying and makes traveling a real pain in the butt. The camera in this game is kind of angry. Yeah, we'll use the word angry. Alright, imagine there's a guy, okay? There's a guy named Joe. And Joe hates you, okay? Joe is operating the camera in this game, and he's gonna make it his job to make sure that you can't see your character on screen at any given point. Each little area in this game has 3 or 4 different camera angles, and the game has a really hard time deciding which ones it wants to show you. Most of the time it shows you one that you can't see what you're doing. Look at this, I'm behind the mountain here. How am I supposed to see what I'm doing when I'm behind a mountain? That's a good camera angle. I'm glad they gave me that one. I can totally see what I'm doing. You can instantly tell how lazy these developers were, because they didn't even bother to cut around the foreground objects properly. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, it's the magical, amazing, disappearing man. Even the act of walking is not without its problems. Okay, so you walk forward at an absurdly slow pace, so you want to figure out which button to start running. You hit X, and it doesn't work. You have to hold X, and then after a second he starts running. This is horribly unintuitive, and he stops running whenever he feels like it. He stops running whenever he hits an invisible wall. He stops running whenever he hits a crack in the ground. He can't walk over this? You're telling me that big, strong, super kickboxer man cannot jump over this stupid crack in the ground? A baby could walk over this. A 2-year-old could walk over this stupid thing. I could walk over it. After like a half hour smashing my face against the controller, you finally come up to a boss, which is some sort of stupid mummy thing. I don't even know. He was real tough. Then I come up to a room where I'm gonna show you this in its entirety. This room is just an endless swarm of guys. Why is this here? Who designed this? There is no point to this room at all. There's one health drink you can get here. Or did I just call it a health drink? More like a health spear. And all that happens is you just keep fighting the guys and they just keep coming. They don't even stop. They don't even care. When you defeat enemies, they turn into some sort of yellow... What is this? Are these power pellets? Is Pac-Man in this game? Can I ride Pac-Man? I think this game would be a lot better if I could ride Pac-Man. Finally, after 3 hallways in this room, I found the running hallway that I was supposed to go down, which was a lot easier said than done, let me tell you. You come up to this level, which has no connection to the last one at all. We're some kind of Chinese monk island. This is like the most unresponsive combat I've ever seen in my life. When your controls work worse than the bouncer on PS1, like, how do you do that? Congratulations, you made a game that controls worse than the bouncer. And one that I don't want. I hated every minute of recording this footage. This is the worst thing I've ever played in my life. Don't look at this game, don't buy it, don't even consider it. Just look at this here. Okay, you see this? Just remember that. Just go buy something good like Cold Step Saga or Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.